Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Enforcement officer's tracking down of a criminal presents its own peculiar problems. Sometimes the results are tragic. Most of the time they are routine. On April 7th, Patrolman Jerry March spotted a stolen car driven by Frank Cullen, a killer who would kill again if necessary. The Highway Patrol's apprehension of Cullen presented consequences far beyond those usually resulting from the normal pursuit of criminals.
March was taken to the hospital. I'll have the statement within an hour. Yeah, that's right. Thanks very much. Any news yet?
Yeah, he died in the ambulance.
What about the suspect?
Dead. Jerry must have got a shot off after he was hit. Last word in the ambulance was Patty.
Does she know?
No.
I'd better go over and talk to her.
Maybe my wife could help.
No, wait a minute. Not your wife. You handle the newspapers. Try and keep it off the front page, will you?
I thought it was Jerry.
Hello, Patty. How are you?
Well, come in.
Thank you.
What's happened?
Jerry's dead.
How?
He died in a gunfight.
I used to think about it, but I never really believed it would happen. I guess you never do when you're happy. We were so happy. He loved his work. He loved me.
Patty, Jerry was a real nice guy. He was a good officer. Well, that doesn't help very much at a time like this, does it?
No, it doesn't. He used to go out of here every morning saying, well, I gotta go enforce the law. Always seemed funny to me, this quiet man protecting people. It's not so funny. Was he in pain?
No, he wasn't. You see, he died in the ambulance.
many things I wish I had done. You know, it's just as if I had only said and done half the things I wanted to. Well, I'd better go see his family. Let them know.
I can do it for you.
Oh, no, they'll take it pretty hard. I think I'll be able to comfort them just by not crying.
May I drive you over?
No, I'm all right, but thanks just the same.
Patty, I'll call you in a couple of days. I want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Dad. Hey, it's not dark yet. Can we toss the ball?
Not tonight, Jimmy.
Hi, honey.
How about the dart game? I'll go get it.
Hey, don't you have some homework to do?
Yeah, Mom,
Then I think you better go do it.
But I don't want to do it yet,
Do
Mom.
as your mother tells you. Now, on your way.
All right.
How was your day?
Like any day since I've been on the office detail. Did you bring the paper in?
What about Jerry March?
What about him, Linda?
Ed, I know he was shot today.
What did you want me to tell you?
How is he?
Dead.
And you ask me what I want you to tell me?
Look, honey, you get upset when a patrolman has an auto accident. I didn't want to bring it up.
You're right. I get upset when there's an accident or a robbery or when a patrolman gets killed.
I've been on the force for 5 years. I haven't even been fired at.
But what about those 5 years for me? Every time someone's at the door or the phone rings, my heart's up here.
That kind of fear isn't called for.
Well, they're just the same, Ed. And what about Patty March? I don't want to go through what she's going through.
People can die tragically no matter what they do for a living. Look how lucky we are. I'm 35 years old. We've got our health, got a nice home, a lovely boy.
And 20 more years with the patrol.
Yes. And then $250 a month for life after that. How many people have that?
But I can't live scared to death for another 20 years, Ed. And what about Jimmy? Don't you see how much harder it would be on him if something happened to you? Honey, you're young and intelligent. You could do anything you wanted to. Why, you always said yourself you'd make a good salesman.
That was just talk among friends. I'd probably make a bad salesman.
Well, whether it's right or wrong yet, I can't help the way I feel.
And you want me to quit, is that it?
I can't make that decision for you. But I can't lie to you about the way I feel, can I?
No. No, you can't.
Send Wiley in. You want to see me? What's up?
It isn't easy to say. I'm resigning from the patrol.
You mean you're quitting?
Yeah, I guess that's the right word.
Well, I thought you enjoyed your work.
I do. There's some things more important than work.
And work's getting in the way of it.
It has for quite a while. Yesterday, it became a question of one or the other.
You having trouble at home?
It's not as if it happened just yesterday, but Jerry's death made it a real problem.
And there's nothing you can do to change her mind, huh?
No. But it's not as simple as that. She's tried. She's really tried. But the fear's there, and there's not much she can do about it. But I can. And I have no choice. If my family isn't happy, I'm not, and she's not happy.
What do you figure on doing?
I thought I'd try selling. I know a lot of people in this part of the state. Of course, I wanted to give you 2 weeks' notice.
No, that's not necessary. Look, I'll give you leave of absence. Maybe you and Linda can work something out.
Thanks for understanding. I wish it didn't have to be. You know that.
Yeah, I know. I'll make some calls and set up some appointments for you.
Thanks.
Look, if you're going to be a salesman, be a good one.
Yeah? Sure, send him right in. Hi, Dan. How are you? Come in. Sit down.
Thanks very much.
You don't need any home appliances, I hope?
No, I'd like to sell you something for a change.
Well, sure. It's not a home appliance, I hope.
No, it's a favor I need.
Shoot, Dan.
I want to get a highway patrolman a job. Any openings?
I'll make one. Why the personal interest?
Well, it's kind of a family problem. He's a young guy. He's very intelligent. Well, his name's Ed Wiley.
Sure, Dan. Have him come in. We'll gladly get him started. But that's no favor. You're doing us one.
Well, that's not the favor.
Well, what is?
You have a training period for salesmen, don't you?
2 weeks.
Well, I figure after a few weeks he's liable to quit. That's going to cost you time and money.
You're not sure he'll quit.
I'm hoping he will.
Today.
Hi, son.
Hey, Dad, where's your badge?
Doesn't belong to me anymore, Jimmy.
What do you mean?
I'm no longer a patrolman.
You aren't a patrolman? Why not, Dad?
People can change their jobs, Jimmy. I've decided to try a different line of work.
Gee, it seems funny. You not a patrolman.
Why don't you go outside and play for a while? I'd like to talk to your mother alone for a moment.
All right.
Did you really quit?
Yeah, handed in my resignation this morning.
Oh. Well, what do you plan to do now?
Start looking for a sales job. It shouldn't be too difficult. Matthews knows a lot of people. He said he'd help.
Darling, Oh, Ed, I love you so. But you'll make a good salesman. You will. I know it.
You're right, honey. It'll work. I can't do much selling in this outfit. I better go get changed.
3 weeks had passed since Ed Wiley took a leave of absence from the Highway Patrol. Dan Matthews called on his friend Dave Alden to see how ex-officer Wiley was doing.
Well, your friend Ed Wiley went through the training period with flying colors, Dan. But since he's been out selling, nothing.
Well, what's the trouble?
I don't know. He made 100 calls in a week and only 3 sales.
Well, that's par for the course when they first start, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
Well, then there's got to be another reason, Dave.
No, Dan, really, I don't think so.
During the training period, didn't he show any signs of this?
No, the training merely gives the man the fundamentals. But 1 week of actual selling, then we know. During the training, Wiley showed intelligence. He grasped things easily. Nice personality. That's all we ever hoped for.
What you're trying to say is...
He isn't a salesman. Never will be. It's like any other work. It needs the plus factor. Urge, incentive, liking your work. Whatever you want to call it. Ed Wiley doesn't have it as a salesman.
Well, are you going to keep him on?
Sure. We don't give up that easily. Besides, all the statistics in the world are sometimes wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, son. Where's your mother?
In the other room, I think. You don't suppose you'd like to toss the ball?
Too tired, Jimmy. Hello?
Haven't seen you for a while, boy.
Stan? How are you? How's the family?
Oh, fine. How's the new job?
Just great. Things running along smoothly.
Say, you know Hoover from District 4?
Yeah, I've met him a few times.
Well, he and his wife are coming over to dinner tomorrow night. Now, why don't you and Linda join us?
Well, I don't know, Stan. Let me check with Linda. Hold on a minute. Linda?
Yes, dear?
Stan Johnson is on the phone. Wants to know if we'd like to come over to dinner tomorrow night.
Oh, Ed, I'd love to. But I made plans with Rosemary and Bill.
With who?
The Parsons, honey.
Stan? I'm sorry, I forgot. We already have plans.
Oh. Well, let's make it sometime soon, Ed. I'm glad to hear it's going so well. Now, you give us a call when you get a chance, will you?
Yeah. I'll see you, Stan.
I got busy in the other room. I meant to tell you as soon as you came in that we had plans for tomorrow night.
Linda, I wish you'd check with me before you make...
I'm sorry, Ed. I thought since you worked with him and everything...
Well, that's just it. I see Parsons every day, and all we ever talk about are those appliances. When I come home, I'm tired of selling. I don't want to sit around all evening and talk about it.
It's the job, isn't it?
I'm not a salesman, Linda.
Well, maybe it's too soon to tell. You've only been at it a little while.
Honey, when you knock on a door and say, Madam, I'd like to interest you in our latest line of appliances, and she says, no, I'm not interested. That's the point when you become a salesman. When a person says no, I accept it. If I were a salesman and really cared about my work, I wouldn't accept it.
But, Ed, aren't those things you have to learn?
You can't learn, honey, if you have no desire, no interest.
Well, then the job isn't right for you. Not if you feel this way. Maybe you should try something else.
I just had a bad day. I disappointed myself and blaming it on the job.
I'm sorry about tomorrow night. Next time I'll check with you. I promise. Maybe it will be all right. Maybe it is just because it's a new job.
I better go clean up.
Get me, Mrs. Ed Wiley. Hello. Oh, hello, Linda. How are you? This is Dan Matthews.
Hi, how are you?
I'm just fine. Look, could you come in and see me this morning? I'd like to have a talk with you.
Yes, I think I could. About an hour?
That'll be fine.
Fine, I'll see you then.
Linda.
Stan, hi, how are you?
Fine. How's the family?
Oh, they're fine.
Say hello to Ed for me, will you?
I certainly will.
Hi, Linda.
Patty, are you working here?
Yeah, for a couple of weeks now. Mr. Matthews was kind enough to give me a job.
I didn't know.
Well, I guess it does seem odd. A lot of people have been surprised.
But I thought this was the last place you'd want to be.
Well, I felt that way, too, at first, but now that I'm here, I'm very glad. With Jerry gone, I didn't want to sit around feeling sorry for myself.
But here? Wouldn't you rather be somewhere else?
No, I wouldn't want to be anyplace else. You know, it's funny the things you don't know about the man you love. I've learned so much about Jerry and his work since I've been here. I guess I had the idea he was always out chasing criminals or writing traffic tickets. But in the last 2 weeks, a boy bitten by a rabid dog was found in time, and another little boy was lost, and we had to keep him here and stuff him full of ice cream until his mother showed up. They're silly things, but they're a lot closer to Jerry than the criminals. Highway Patrol Headquarters. Okay, I'll take care of it. Headquarters to 786. Reported cattle blocking Highway 7, 1 mile west of White Point. See what I mean? Stan Dixon had to patch up a family quarrel last week. Oh, and this one I hope doesn't happen soon again. But Ralph Ellison saw a car parked right in the middle of the highway, so he stopped. And the next thing you know, he was delivering a baby.
I'll bet he was the most frightened patrolman that ever stopped a car. I'm so glad to see you feeling better, Patty.
Instead of bad memories, this place is bringing good ones.
I better go in now. I'm supposed to see Mr. Matthews.
Yes, he's expecting you. How are Ed and Jimmy?
They're fine.
Say hello to him for me.
Come in. Hi, Linda. How are you?
Fine.
Sit down, won't you?
Thank you.
How's the boy?
Like old boys.
You mean a monster, huh? Linda, I want to talk about your husband.
What about Ed?
Well, I talked to Dave Alden, the sales manager. Ed's not doing well.
I know that. So does he. But it's bound to be difficult at first.
Well, not according to Alden. Ed's just not a salesman. That doesn't mean anything. A lot of people aren't patrolmen either.
Well, even if he doesn't work out as a salesman, that doesn't mean he has to be a patrolman.
No, I'm sure he could find a job eventually and get to like it. He already liked being a patrolman, didn't he?
Yes, he did. But our life isn't the patrol. It's us, our family.
True, but look at it from another point of view. If every patrolman felt that way, where would we be? We'd be worried just crossing the street.
What you say is true, but there are lots of men. You don't need Ed.
Well, good men are hard to come by. Ed's lucky. Let me read you something, Linda. Out of 210 men who joined the patrol 30 years ago, 180 stayed until retirement. Some stayed a little longer. Now some of them have their own business, too. And out of the 180, only one died in the line of duty.
There's one thing your record won't show.
Yeah, what's that?
My fear. That I'm scared of losing Ed the way Patty March lost her husband. That I've been afraid for a long time.
No, the record doesn't show that, but could help put the fear in the right place. We're all afraid at one time or another, but there's one fear you might have overlooked. You might spend the rest of your life with a very unhappy man. Well, that's your decision. I've probably said too much already.
Is that Ed's badge?
Yeah, his leave of absence is up tomorrow. You can do whatever you want with it.
I expected you earlier. Dinner's ready.
What's all this?
Jimmy's at a friend's house for dinner, and I thought it might be nice to eat in here for a change. You ready?
Okay, wait till I get rid of this. Oh, I'm tired out. What's this?
It's yours, isn't it?
You mean...
I talked with Dan Matthews today. I've been terribly wrong, Ed.
No, you haven't, honey. The way you feel is the way you feel. You can't help that.
Yes, I can. I've done a lot of self-analyzing today. I had made my fear something bigger than it really was.
But if I go back to the patrol, you'll still have the same fear.
I'll always be a little afraid. You'll have to remember that. But I've realized that I'd rather have a little fear and a happy husband than the greater fear of having a husband who isn't happy.
Are you sure, honey?
Hmm? You have to get used to a lot of things. I just didn't know how to accept the fear until I saw you doing something you didn't have your heart in.
I love you. Does Matthews know yet?
I don't think so.
I'll be back in a minute.
Highway Patrol Headquarters.
This is Ed Wiley.
Oh, hi, Ed.
Is Matthews in?
Oh, no, he's not right now. Can I take a message?
Would you ask him to call me at home when he gets a chance?
Yeah, sure I will, Ed. Bye.
Good night, Patty.
Headquarters to 2150.
2150, bye.
A landline call from ex-Officer Wiley. He would like you to call him at home.
I think you mean Officer Wiley. Tell him I got the message. See the Highway Patrol in action again next week. Until then, remember, leave your blood at the Red Cross, not on the highway. This is Broderick Crawford saying, see you next week.